So I've trimmed all the holes now, and I've marked the spots where the holes should go, but I want to fit the pots and the wiring in first to make sure that it can fit the wiring and everything into the cavity and still allow me to move the pickguard around before I actually drill the holes for the screws. So I'm going to fit these and make sure they all fit first. So it's a good thing I tested this pickguard before drilling the holes for securing it, because I've fitted the electronics in, because to fit in the cavity the holes aren't going where I thought they would go, and I need to fill in this one now. So good to check before I've done that, before I finally fit this. So I just got to fill that hole, and then I can mark where the holes go. I have to be careful of some of the holes because they're very close to the ones I filled, and it looks kind of ugly right now, but it'll all get hidden by the pickguard and it'll look fine at the end. It's just underneath the covers, you don't always want to see what's going on. Anyway, that's all done. I'll just clear it off and then fit a few screws as a test. Just installed the pickguard with all the screws. Changed my mind, I just wanted to see that it looked right and laid flat. It looks fine. Still got the plastic protective cover on, so I can still work around. But it lines up nicely with the cavity. It lays flat. All of the screw holes line up now. So yeah, it's starting to take shape. So next I'm going to look at mounting the pickups, but before I do, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it's open, and I'm going to shield inside with some double-sided copper tape. So this will help form a interference proof cage around the pickups, and will help eliminate interference coming into the signal and hopefully make it a bit cleaner. The single coil bridge pickup is normally the worst because it doesn't have the humbucker effect that the two here will have. But I'll shield it all because I'm here, and it'll just make the bass better. So I'm going to do that next. So that's the bridge pickup shielded with copper shielding. So this is the pickup itself. They give me some screws to mount it on so I can adjust the height, but I also like to put a bit of sponge in the bottom just to I don't know, give it a bit of cushioning effect. So that'll squeeze down once I screw the pickup down, but also make it a little more secure in place. So I'm just going to feed the wires through. There we are. Just put a rag down so I don't scratch the finish. This part of the finish will actually be visible outside the pickguard. So I need 4 long screws, 4 springs. Yeah. And the rest are for the other pickups. So okay. One pickup in. Looks pretty good. So I'm just putting in a shielding in the P-base neck pickup cavity as well. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that these also need to be earthed, so I'm just fitting these to start with. Then I'll have to connect a wire to this shielding to the earth circuit of the electronics, and that way the shielding will work. Otherwise it's useless. So a lot of people put in shielding and forget to actually connect it up and earth it. It's pointless unless you do that. So I put in some foam under these pickups as well. I'm just going to fit them to make sure they're going to look alright and fit around the pick guard, unless I have to trim the opening in the pick guard for the pickups. I can just test them now. See, already I can see a problem. Yeah, they need to be opened up. Okay, I'm going to do that first before I start fitting these. So on the back of the pick guard I've marked how much I need to remove off each end to fit the ears of those pickups. So I'm just going to use a round file and file them down to match that new mark. Not much, but enough just to make it fit. The holes that are in the base body don't match the holes for these new pickups. So I'll open up this cavity first, and then I'll mark where they fall and then put new holes in before I go much further. So I've just expanded the ear on each of these pickups. Now I'm going to fit the pick guard back onto the base and then place them in so I can see where the new holes need to go into the body and to mount them. So I'm just going to put in a few screws to hold it steady and then work out where they need to mount. Putting in a few of these to stabilize the position of where the holes are going to be. I need to drop one in at a time. To see where the holes need to go. And sometimes they fit from the back but not from the front. Okay, so that fits nicely. Now I need to use one of these long screws and kind of use it as a punch, unless that's found the hole. Doesn't feel like it. So I'm just going to give it a slight tap. And then I'll know where the holes need to go. Yeah, they're kind of a bit over from the holes already there. So let's do the other pickup. I mean, they're self-tapping screws anyway, so yeah, they're in quite a different spot. So I'm going to try and mount these now, then I'll put the pickguard on temporarily and we'll see how it all looks, how it's all starting to shape up. It's just a test fit of all the pickups, starting to look good. Well, now that I've got these all working fine and fitted to the pickguard, I need to put on the earthing wires from these two pickups into the cavity and then connect up the wires to the pots over here And then I need to check that it all is connected, makes a noise, and then we're on the way to finishing it, at least installing pieces. But so yeah, now I'm going to start doing a bit of soldering. So what I'm doing here is I want to attach this wire to the shielding. I should be able to do it actually without having to remove everything for that side. This side I'll have to actually pull out, but we'll try this one first. So for the solder to stick, I need to roughen up the surface a bit. And this is warming up. One tip is to use really thin solder. For guitars, don't use plumbing solder, of course. So now I'm attempting to connect up the pickups in the bass to the pickguard. So first pickup, bridge pickup, I'm going to connect the earths onto here. The secret is have a hot iron, don't move the wires, don't blow on the solder. Just do it simply like that. So they're all connected to the earth, as is that pickup. And this pickup will connect to the middle terminal just below it. So I've just made all the connections on the pots. Now I want to test if we can get some noise before I hook it all up. So I'm just attaching this to a little test amp that I have down here. So I'll turn that on, and then I need to just tap the pickups. That sounds good. Volume's down on this one. Volume's off. Volume's on. Tone down. Volume down, volume up on the other one. Tone is up. Tone down. Perfect. So, looks like we have a working bass. I need to hook everything up and install it neatly, and then let's get some strings on this. Just a bit of an update. All the pickguard is connected, the wiring's all done. These are all in solid, all the screws are in around here. Everything's wired up, bridge is ready to go. I just finished putting the jack plate on. Now I'm going to get some strings on this thing and see what it looks like. So I've got these U set of strings I'm going to try on here first. The good thing is, I don't hear any interference or hum or buzz, even though I'm surrounded by fluorescent lights and electrical lights, so the grounding is working well. So yeah, I'm going to take a break and let this sit for a while and come back and check how it's balancing out. It hasn't had any strings on it for a long time, so I just want to see how it kind of settles in. As far as installation wise, the only real thing I need to put in are some strap locks, strap buttons, and find some knobs. So next time you see this, I should be hopefully doing that, find some knobs for it, and that will be the last bit of this build, and then I'll do a part 2, which is the setup and intonation, and then I'll put I have some new Didarios to put on, so they'll actually sound a lot nicer.